I bring you a tale of wisdom and foolishness, of greed and redemption. It is the story of Adigun the Gambler and King Ayinde, the wise king of our land. Are you ready? A long time ago, in a bustling Yoruba kingdom, there lived a man named Adigun. Now, Adigun was no ordinary man. Adigun had the fastest fingers when it came to rolling cowrie shells and the loudest laugh when he won. But there was one problem. Adigun was a gambler. He would bet on anything and everything, games, goats, even the weather. And most days, he won. Adigun the Lucky, they called him. He was the king of the village square, or so he thought. Now, whispers of Adigun's skill traveled like the harmattan wind, and soon they reached the ears of King Ayinde, the king of the land. The king raised an eyebrow and said, "Let us see if this Adigun's luck can withstand the wisdom of a king." One quiet evening, as the moon hung low and the village square was still, two royal guards arrived at Adigun's hut. They carried a sealed message from the palace. Adigun, curious but confident, tore it open and read, "Adigun the Lucky, you are summoned by King Ayinde to a game at the palace. Come prepared, for this game will change your life forever." What kind of game? What did the king mean? Adigun's heart raced, but his pride wouldn't let him hesitate. A game? With the king? Ha! I'll win before he even rolls the dice, he said, laughing. But deep inside, he felt a flicker of doubt. What could the king possibly have in store? The next day, Adigun strutted into the grand palace courtyard. The sight was breathtaking mud walls adorned with carvings of Yoruba deities, guards holding spears like statues, and in the center, Oba Ayinde sitting on a high throne, his crown glinting in the sunlight. "Dear King," Adigun said, his voice loud, but his eyes darting nervously. The king smiled a calm, knowing smile. "Adigun," the king said, "I have heard of your luck, but today we will test your wisdom. We will play a game of dice. If you win, you will leave with treasures beyond your dreams. But if you lose..." "If I lose?" Adigun asked, his voice barely a whisper. The king's smile widened. "You will lose everything." The king's attendants brought out an ancient golden dice. It shimmered like the morning sun, and the carvings on it seemed to whisper secrets. The villagers gathered around, gasped. "This is no ordinary dice," someone murmured. Adigun rolled first. A 6. Then another 6. He laughed loudly, his confidence growing. "O king," he said, "you'll need more than wisdom to beat me." The crowd cheered, and Adigun basked in their applause. But then it was the king's turn. He rolled slowly, deliberately, and began to win. At first, Adigun shrugged it off. But soon, round after round, the treasures piled up on the king's side, and Adigun's pile grew smaller and smaller. Adigun was down to his last possessions, a farm deed, his red cap, and his goat. The king smiled gently and said, "Do you want to continue?" Adigun hesitated. His hands shook, but his pride roared louder than his fear. "Yes," he said, slamming his filer on the table. "One more roll." The dice rolled. Round and round it went, like the beating of a drum. The crowd held their breath, and then it stopped. A gasp echoed through the courtyard. The king had won. Adigun fell to the ground, clutching his head. My farm, my goat. Oh, what have I done? He cried. The king stood, his staff raised high. The crowd grew silent as he spoke. Adigun, you gambled everything and lost. But today, I give you a gift greater than gold, wisdom. Gambling is a fool's game. It takes everything and gives nothing. Will you learn this lesson? Adigun nodded, tears streaming down his face. I will never gamble again, Kabiesi, he said. The king smiled and returned Adigun's farm deed and phyla, but not without a warning. Go and teach others what you have learned today. From that day on, Adigun became a storyteller. He no longer gambled with cowries, but with tales of his misadventures. He traveled from village to village, sharing his story with anyone who would listen. And you know what? He still wore his red cap, but now it was no longer a gambler's cap. It was the storyteller's crown. And so, my children, remember this. Luck is fleeting, but wisdom stays with you forever.